Hi, I'm Kimberly. Welcome to Simply Living in a Small Town. I hope everybody is doing great. Today is actually Tuesday. I want to thank everyone for watching. Whether you've been following along or you're watching for the first time, I truly do appreciate that so much. So, I am so sorry I've been away for a bit. So, there's been, as I kind of explained before, I not only have a lot of stuff going on, but I've been battling with some health things as well. So I apologize, but this video is probably going to be all over the place. I wanted to do a video yesterday and I just didn't get it done. I seem to have this issue where it's like if I don't get the video done before my daughter gets off school, then things kind of just roll after she gets off school because, then I'm prepping for dinner, making sure she has her homework done. Just, it seems like a million things. We have this routine in the evening, which is great. Things have gotten better that way in that we're getting to bed earlier and we're in a better routine anyway of this situation. So, um, anyway, so there's that. So I thought that I would come on and go ahead and do a video early today so that I could actually get it done and uploaded for y'all. And so I'm not sure where I'm beginning, but I guess I'm going to start with the health issues. So I recently started on a medication about, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks or 8 weeks ago, a month and a half or 2 months ago, something like that. And I didn't actually think that that was causing me any problems at all. But then I realized more recently, after my own little research, I've been having really bad issues with constipation. And so I did some research into this medication and found out, yes, that's one of the common side effects to that. Thankfully for me, not. But so I basically stopped taking it as of last Friday, and now I'm back to like normal. So, but in the meantime of that, I have really bad sciatic pain. I'm gonna try like explain this as best I can. So, if you'll bear with me, like when I was 17, I broke my back in a horse accident, and I never received any medical treatment for that. And it healed improperly, essentially, by the time that months later found out that I had broken my back. The doctor said the only way to fix or correct the fact that it had healed improperly would be to re-break my back. That was terrifying to me. At that point, I was either 18 or almost 18. I was a senior in high school. That was terrifying to me, and I thought, like, that would be the end of my life, to re-break my back and go through that. And that was the end of that discussion. Basically, it never happened. Obviously, looking back now I just turned 48 years old last month. Obviously, looking back now, do I wish I'd had that done 30 years ago? Well, of course I do at this point. Because that has caused a chain reaction of other like issues in my back and so on. So that happened. So because of that, I have always had pain in both of my hips and of course my back ever since I've broken it. Like, and then I would have off and on, I would have this issue where my back would just, I would go to get up in the morning and I could tell that my back was locked up. And I would like literally make myself roll off the side of the bed and stand up really quick because it was like the only way that I could function. And then I have to get through that, you know, pain or whatnot for a week. At one point in time back then, my doctor that I did have, I don't have anymore, but my family doctor, she had put me on 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. So, you know, for about a week, I would have this issue. And then it would just go back to the normal, like, dull, aching pain in my lower back. It was just always a constant, and the hip pain. And specifically, the hip pain would be like, when I was sleeping at night, and I like to lay on my side. So I frequently would roll from one side to the other because the pain would get so bad in one hip, I'd roll over to the other side, and you know. So there's been that. So in the last like then 2 years, I developed all of a sudden this horribly bad sciatic pain. And it was literally coming across the top of this shoulder, going down this arm to the point that it was debilitating. I was constantly crying. I could not move my arm. I couldn't get out of bed no more. I mean, I couldn't get dressed. I couldn't. This went on for like several days. I actually had my husband take me to the emergency room because it was, I mean, it was excruciating, y'all. I was just constantly crying. I couldn't get more than 2 hours of sleep, even with pain pills, and then I would be awake again. Just, it was a nightmare. So, went to the hospital. They gave me a shot of Toradol, which is painkiller. They also gave me a high dose of morphine, which is another painkiller. And I still could barely walk out of there when I went to leave there. And it really didn't, you know, I went to bed that night. By the time we got home, I was like, from all that pain medication, I was tired enough, in other words, to fall asleep, which was great. I got a little more sleep that night, but then it was the same thing when I did wake up. You know, I was in excruciating pain again. So my husband suggested that I go to a chiropractor. I didn't think that would do me any good. And he said, just try it and see. And I thought, okay, for once I'm going to like, you know, I'm going to go along with this. He said, I'll make you an appointment, but you need to at least try this. At that point, the pain was so bad. Of course, I was, okay, fine. You know, I don't know what that would do for me, but let's try that. I went, and I think initially I had like maybe, 3 visits in a row or something. And I am telling you that with that, having the adjustments by my chiropractor, it wasn't like I was perfectly whatever okay, but in other words, the pain in this, like the sciatic pain, had subsided to the point that, you know, my goodness, I could sleep through the night again and I could feel like back to my normal state. So and within that, they actually did x-rays of my back. I have slip discs in my back. I have spinal stenosis, which is narrowing of your spine. And then my lower back. I mean, my doctor actually said, honestly, you were one of the worst cases I've ever seen, which is really sad considering your age. Because again, this was a couple years ago. So my lower back is just, it's awful. Essentially where I broke my back. So, because he said, look at this, do you see this? And showing me my lower back. And he said, this is just, it's awful. So, you know, he said, I will do the best that I can do for you if you will continue coming in, and we will continue adjustments. And then we actually ended up doing a, so one of the things that he suggested was called decompression therapy. And it was where you lay on this table and they hook, your head lays like in this cradle, and they like strap your head down. It's kind of scary at first, but it stretches, in other words, while you're laying on this table. And it starts out with a minimal amount of time and works up to like 15 minutes eventually, where you're having, in other words, your spine stretched, and then kind of releasing, and then same. And I'm telling you, so I ended up going through with that $5,000 for this decompression therapy, which of course insurance did not cover. So, but you know, I was looking for options that we could do that did not involve surgery yet. At some point, yes, I know I will. At some point, my chiropractor knows I know I will need surgery done on my back. But we're trying to, in other words, prolong that with my age and everything. You know, I really didn't want to have that done yet. And since then, I've had a total knee replacement done on my right knee. I still have my left one to do. So, you know, obviously I have other things, but clearly your spine's extremely important. So I went through this decompression therapy. It was great, y'all. I would feel like a new person after I had that done. So that was fantastic. And I went through that and had all that done. And then I continued going through, because I would do that, and then the chiropractor would adjust me. And I'm telling you, he would like crack my neck. And well, the other thing I also did too, before I would go in for the decompression therapy, is they would have me lay on a massage table that actually has, it's like a roller bed is what they call it. And this roller goes up and down the bed under a mat and along your spine. And I would almost always, I would be like falling asleep. It felt so good. And then I would do the decompression therapy, and then I would do the adjustments. And then eventually I got to where I just did, you know, once I was done with the decompression therapy, then I went to just doing the roller bed and then the adjustments. And I'm telling you, every time my chiropractor, his name is Mike, and I just love the man. He is a really special person, not just because of what he does, but in general, he is a very, very good person, very caring, and just, you know, because he actually decided, yes, you know, like, I will take you on. He said, I will help you the best that I can. And I was in tears originally over this, because I was like, wow, you're one of the actual only doctors I've had that actually gives a damn, that actually wants to help me. Like, you actually want to help. Like, so anyway, through all that, I've done so much better. Well, I say that, so this sciatic pain, you know, was like under control. But then we got into, so about a year ago, I started having, that's been at least about a year ago, I started having really bad sciatic pain from my right hip over here. Like, it comes from my lower back and it comes across to my right hip here, and then it literally goes down my leg. Yeah, it's been over a year ago, because so when I had my total knee replacement done, because this is all on my right side, my knee replacement was done on my right knee. So it was fantastic there for some time, because they cut muscle and such when they did my total knee replacement. it originally was running clear down my leg, and it was just awful. Once they did my knee replacement, then it just went across the top of my leg, and then it just stopped. So there's that. But anyway, so to come to the present time, so we've been dealing with that. I've still been, I have to keep going to the chiropractor. It is what it is. A chiropractor does not fix you completely. I'm well aware of that. But this guy, I call him Magic Mike because I say he has the magic hands, because does a fantastic job and makes me feel so much better every time I go in there. It's like a huge relief and release to my body to feel like relief from the pain that's so bad. So, but recently, I've just been dealing with this sciatic pain, and I've had to sit more, even more than just because of the RA pain, the rheumatoid arthritis that I have. So I have really been more debilitated with this. Well, so then when I was on this medication that I was put on, that was causing me to be constipated, this pain became so grueling, y'all, when I get up in the morning now. Like, I'm like crying in the morning because I can barely stand up. It is like, I feel like it's killing me. So now that, like, I stopped taking it, my system's like back to normal. It's getting better, but it is still, it's very grueling in the morning, y'all. And I have just been in so much pain. It takes 2 or 3 hours. I get up, I take my pain pills first thing in the morning. That's always a given anyway. That's just how my routine is. I take those first thing in the morning. But it's not really till I start drinking my coffee, y'all, that I start feeling like, like relief from this pain, because it's like my painkillers kick in. And then I read something about, so the coffee, it kind of, I don't know that I'm going to say this actually technically correctly, because I would have to look it up again. Y'all, I'm sorry. I have so much for my brain to remember, but, it does something or other to my nerves that, like, dulls them down to a point that then I can get through a day up until later afternoon. Then I start really feeling the pain again. So, I mean, I still, like, I don't know how to explain it. I still have the pain throughout the day, like the early day once it kicks in, but I start feeling this relief of the pain. It's not as excruciating or grueling. So I have been dealing with this. I have just literally not felt good. I have literally been, and it's affecting my breathing, my speech, because of because I have so much inflammation in my body. So, and then I have other things going on, like, there started being an issue, I want to say more so around May, because I know, at the end of May, I was really having problems with this. But, I was having problems with eating red meat, and it's gotten to a point where, y'all, I can't even eat a cheeseburger. I even tried again, like, 2 weeks ago, I want to say. I ate probably maybe 3 or 4 bites. It just did not taste. I even, like, a while back, this has been months ago, I made my daughter and I cheeseburgers at home, and she ate 2 of them. And y'all, I ate half of one, and I kept telling her, oh my gosh, I feel sick. And the next thing you know, while I'm, like, eating it, I expelled it. So Now, it seems to be a thing where I can still handle the like steaks to some degree, like those, and they still seem appealing to me, and I can still somewhat, not always, but like cheeseburgers, and ground beef, cheeseburgers and ground beef. Like the other day, I made um, my homemade veggie soup, and I put hamburger in it normally, like ground beef. I did not. All I put in it was all my veggies and that. Like there was, there's no meat in it because and I love my veggies. I love my fruits. I love almost all vegetables and fruits, minus like as far as vegetables, I can't do like raw onions too much because that causes a problem for me gastrically. Like acid, and I have um, acid reflux. So that causes a problem for me. I can't do peppers unless it's like, now bell peppers that are cooked, love them. Even if they're raw, that's not too bad. But the sharpness specifically of white onions, it's the raw ones. If it's cooked, it's fine. So I've had to really work on, even more so, tailoring meals to what I can handle um, with my health conditions. So I had to work on that too. And then also, I've just been drained, exhausted. I work, 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 work. This last week, I really have not crocheted. I've also had some depression issues because Halloween was coming up, and like, yet it's another holiday that I started having flashbacks of, my son and previous Halloweens when he was little, and because there were years of time, y'all, where it was just literally just me and him, or him and I, and he was little, and it was just like he was my buddy for the longest time because uh he was 22 when he passed away in June, and my daughter is only 11. She will be 12 here very shortly this month. So there was a lot of age difference between them, which worked really well. But what I'm saying is, there were a lot of years in there that it was just him and I doing things together and enjoying holidays and things. Because when he was little, he was barely 6 years old when I'm just going to say this, when his dad literally walked out on us one day. He just went to work one day, and then, just didn't come home ever again to us. And so my son at that point he was in kindergarten, and Devin, we went through a lot of years because then just again him and I, because then it wasn't till 2011, at the very end of 2011, when I met my daughter's dad. And then I had her in November of 2012. A funny fact is, though, despite the years of age difference between my daughter and my son, my daughter's birthday is November 21st. My son's birthday is December 21st. So that's always been difficult. Hers is right before Thanksgiving. His is literally right before Christmas. And that's another reason too why I've been having some depression as well, because I struggle anyway when specifically Thanksgiving and Christmas are coming up. I had a lot of challenging years when it was just my son and I. And so there's that. But now what more overshadows that, I guess, now is the fact that he is gone. And so I've already told, like, my mother, I don't really want to do Christmas this year. Not the way that we have are used to doing it. Not the way that we normally do. I need to push through in some ways on these things for my daughter. If it wasn't for her, I would, I would have even more issue getting through. I'm like losing my voice. Sorry. Voice is getting scratchy. Coffee. Trying to finish up my coffee. So if it wasn't for her, because I feel this push to make things good for her, because she deserves that. Obviously, my daughter she's been through a lot in her life, period. I'll just say that. But then not only that, so this is going to go into the next topic here, sort of. So obviously today is November 5th. And this is the 4-year anniversary of our house burning down. So that's a very difficult thing. But my daughter's been through that, such as I as well, and my family. But in the last year, her dad had a stroke early in the year, February 16th. Then months later, her brother passes away. And so it's been very difficult for all of us, but I want to make things good for her as much as possible. Sometimes that's really hard to do, but she's always foremost on my mind of trying to make things special and good for her still, despite maybe even how I feel or how much I'm hurting. So there's been a lot, and I'm trying to push through these things as well. This is going to be the first year, though, without my son for, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so finishing out the year, I didn't expect to really already be hit so hard before we even got to Halloween. But that's kind of why you haven't seen me, as well as the health issues. Plus, I've also been having a flare up. I've had blisters all over my hands because of the weather change, and then it's warm back up, and that's causing me pain because it's warm. It's like 70 some degrees now again, which is great. It feels like spring. But I can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but that affects my arthritis. So barometric pressure. So I'm just dealing with a lot that way, but I didn't expect to be hit so hard mentally before we got to Halloween. And I almost kind of shut down, really, somewhat. Now, there's also, I'm still working on numerous things outside. As I had stated before, I am I say don't get choked, because that's another thing. I'll end up getting choked on it. So I have numerous projects going on outside too. I need to put some videos together. I have tons of stuff to share with y'all. I just need to get on the ball and get that done. I'm so sorry that I haven't gotten with it like I need to, but it's kind of, you know how when you have this routine, but then you stop part of that routine for a while to take care of a couple of like bigger things, and then you spend the time doing that, which is fine. But then, so then you're slacking on the, you know, other things that you normally do. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm behind. I'm always behind. That's the way I look at it. I am my own worst critic, and I will admit that. I mean, I've tried to like really work on that, and I have gotten better about it. I try to give myself some time to breathe and allow myself some grace, because I'm not perfect. Y'all, I'm not perfect any more than anybody else is. So I just try to do the best that I can, and that's all that I can do. And so the bigger project, or I shouldn't say bigger projects, I mean outside projects, but some of them are like substantial projects. So that's another reason why I'm like, I'm trying to take it easy. Saturday, so my husband and I finally replaced the back door frame that's been rotting apart for umpteen years, and replaced the door with a new door. I did all the prep work. So y'all, I cut the 2x6s for the door frame. I did all that. I painted all of it the other day. That was the other final touch that I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and paint this too. It's beautiful. It's black. So I did all the prep work, and so it's hung, but it's not completely finished. The situation's not finished because I have to finish. I have to finish it. We went overnight with no doorknob because we spent like 4 hours, y'all. It was an ordeal. This building is concrete block, and so it's not as easy, okay, as, oh, let's just nail it and frame it in. That's not how this worked, okay? So, you know, there was more to it than that. We got a late start, and so we just got to a point where, well, it's hung, it's there. So I want to show y'all that, and I can't wait to show y'all that. I'm pretty proud of it, because what we had was looking pretty bad, and it was really not functionable. I'll just say the hinges kept falling out of the door frame because the door frame was rotted, and you know, that's what happens when you have a door frame from 1956, so it's just what it is. But anyway, that project is almost completely done. I have a gutter board outside I've got to cut today for another spot that I am working on the outside of the building. I'm trying to get certain things again done outside before it really gets cold. We are fortunate because we've had some 30-some degree nights, but during the day, for the most part, it's staying nice so far. So I just need to continue on to some degree, although I need to give myself some grace and some time to like recuperate in ways as well. So I got to kind of pace myself, which we all need to do, is pace ourselves. Life is very hard to balance. Life is hard, period. And so there's just a lot, and all we can do is the best that we can do. That's it, you know? So I'm pretty proud of myself regardless, because I am disabled, and there's times I need to take the downtime. I have to. Now, usually when I take the downtime, I would be crocheting. But again, I've had a mental block where it's like, no, I can't even do that. But now I'm finally getting back to a point where, yes, I'm ready to like go back and begin again. But again, I do have some other stuff to show you very soon here. Well, this week. And I've just got to get things put together. So, again, today is November 5th, though. And so today is voting day. I'm going to attempt to vote. There's a reason why I say attempt. I have never voted before, so my status shows inactive. So we'll see if I can manage to get that done today. Hopefully so, because it's very important. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I'm not going to get into politics, but it is really important that everyone votes that can. And then again, today is the 4-year anniversary of my house burning down. I'd like to do I had intended to put some videos together in regards to that. I may or may not get one done today. Who knows? We will have to see, because I'd like to do a whole video about just talking about that, because y'all, I would like to tell my story, but not only that, I want to be able to possibly help others with it as well. But it's also a thing of getting it out and telling my story in regards to that. I am very grateful, to say the least, that I survived that, because I barely did. I was within minutes of being, you know, basically a crispy critter in my bedroom asleep, and that would have just happened so very easily, because I was asleep. I was at peace. I had no idea what was happening around me. And I would like to talk to y'all about what has happened since then, because that's massive, and that also created a lot of issues, period, for my family specifically, meaning myself, my husband, and my children. And that bared a lot on my son, and I feel like exasperated, in other words, his passing, because stress exacerbated his seizures, epilepsy. So I'd like to do a whole video about that today. Hopefully I can manage to pull that off. I don't know. And I apologize if like the lighting is like in and out, but I'm sitting out here in the storefront area, and it's like all these giant windows, like an old storefront. And it's bright, but then it's like going overcast, and then it's going bright again. And I even have an additional light in here because of that. So that I have on, even though I don't really need it, but I'm trying to help the lighting within the video, so I apologize. Now it's getting really sunny again. I am grateful for the weather too. Sorry. Okay. But despite all the torture, I'm just going to put it that way, despite all the torture that I have been through since the house burned down, I'm grateful to have survived. It didn't always feel that way, but I'm grateful. And I'm grateful every single day for my life, because I know that very quickly it could have been gone. Just like what happened to my son, very quickly he was gone. But I'm grateful for every single day. I'm grateful for where I'm at in life. You know, I have this chronic pain and everything every day. I have a lot of health issues to deal with. It's extremely hard. But I push through another day because I have to, you know. That's how I look at it. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. You know, I don't love the pain, but I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be able to continue to try to achieve my goals. And every time I achieve something, it's such a wonderful feeling. I feel that, wow, I can still do something, you know, because at the point the house burnt down, I was really feeling like I will never do those things again. So many things. And I mean, specifically in relation to like my woodworking and my remodeling, some of the things like that. And it's like the Lord propelled me forward into a situation that was what I've always wanted. But it was more difficult because of my health issues. But nonetheless, because of it, I basically have had to just try and try and try every day. And then it has been, oh wow, I can still do this. Not everything, but a lot of the things that I thought I could not do anymore, I can. I just got to pace myself. Sometimes I have to take even more time, it depends, to recuperate from the first part of whatever it was I was doing. But nonetheless, you know, and my biggest thing that I will tell you is I have the will. And I'm telling you, if you have the will to do something, you will make it happen. You will make that happen. If you are hungry for it and you have the will and the drive and you want to see that vision that you have in your mind of whatever it is that you want to fulfill, you will push yourself forward to do so, despite the difficulties, despite the pain, despite the, you know, the crying, the frustration, the everything. So again, we'll see. I would like to do a whole video about you know, the house fire, and we'll see what I end up getting done. And it may not be today because it really snuck up on me. I had planned to do, like I said, a couple of videos in regards to that, and then it was like, y'all, I'm in fog sometimes, I swear. As of yesterday, then I was like, oh my, that's like tomorrow. That's like tomorrow is the anniversary. Wow. And I just, so we'll see what I get done. Who knows, you know, but I'm still out here, y'all. I want you to know that I'm still here, and I love y'all so much. I appreciate all your comments, all your care and concern. I love that and appreciate that so very much. Let me know what you're doing today, or what you're working on, or how things are going. I love to hear from y'all so much. It feels great. I feel connected to y'all, and I love to hear what y'all have going on, or what you're dealing with, or just whatever, you know, just the interaction with y'all. So I am going to end this now and try to get this uploaded. And I will see y'all very, very soon, okay? Bye now, and God bless.